Okay, let's go straight across to Samar Srivastav joining us from Lucknow. He has Jitin Prasad, switched sides from the Congress to the BJP. Obviously did it at the right time. Let's listen in. Samar, go ahead. Samar.
So yes, we have got Jitin Prasad with us, senior BJP leader. So we'll try to speak to him. Jitin, how's your day? Because it has been a day for BJP so far.
Yes, of course, it's a great day for all of us here in the Bharatiya Janata Party. It's, the people of UP have, started giving their mandate, and you can see the trends which are totally in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And the sole credit of this election, of course, the Prime Minister's leadership, which has been seen that he transcends all caste boundaries and regions. And in Uttar Pradesh, the Chief Minister Yogi Ji, his hard work and dedication, the people have, respected that. They have given the mandate. You can see where it's a landslide victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Uttar Pradesh.
It was said that it could be a neck-to-neck fight, but what we are seeing the numbers right now, BJP is clearly leading.
No, there was only, this is a false propaganda. और ये मैं हिंदी में बता सकता हूँ आपको, ये सत्ता की लड़ाई नहीं थी. ये तो संस्कार, संस्कृति और सभ्यता बचाने का संघर्ष था, जिसके प्रतीक हैं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी और योगी जी. जो हमारे देश की संस्कृति है, सभ्यता है, जो संस्कार हैं, वो देखा है कि जनता का आशीर्वाद मिला है. और आप देख सकते हैं कि सिर्फ उत्तर प्रदेश नहीं, पूरे देश भर में भारतीय जनता पार्टी का डंका बज रहा है.
What do you think? What moved voters towards the Saffron Party?
Of course, it is the sole leadership that Bharatiya Janata Party delivers, is commitment to the people. And you can see the big ticket items of development that the Bharatiya Janata Party had done in the past 5 years, and the future that the vision of the Prime Minister at the national stage and in the state, the Chief Minister, their wholehearted commitment and focus on the people.
Samar, can I ask one question?
And the people have respected and given us, we are very happy that...
Yes.
Samar, can I ask one question to Jitin ji? Since he worked in the Congress and BJP, what is the biggest difference he has seen between Congress and BJP style of functioning?
Rajdeep sir is on the line. He has just asked one question. What's the difference between Congress functioning in Congress and BJP, as you have been both?
No, like I said, Bharatiya Janata Party reflects the people's aspirations and is the people's party. And the leadership is totally dedicated, committed to the cause that the people are first and nobody else. And as far as I have said that before also, the Congress party and the people of Uttar Pradesh, there's a great divide. They don't reflect the sentiment of the people anymore.
Your take on Congress's role in Uttar Pradesh? Your take on Congress' role in
I already told you that the divide between the people and the Congress party is so much, they don't reflect the sentiment of the people anymore. That is what is the problem there. And as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party, I've seen the top leadership till the worker, everyone is committed to the cause. There is a 24/7 machinery. There is not only for elections, it's round the clock, round the year, every time. The whole focus is the people.
But Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is also visible on the ground.
Visible is not the only criteria. You have to deliver, you have to respect the people's mandate, you have to live up to the expectations, the aspirations, and full time to the cause.
Jitin, what's your take on Akhilesh Yadav blaming EVM and administration?
Well, those are issues that you'll have to ask him. As far as we are concerned, we're always very confident. The people of Uttar Pradesh have reposed faith in the Bharatiya Janata Party. It's history in the making, where Uttar Pradesh has never repeated a government, and this time, not only a repeat, but a record mandate.
Final question, Jitin. Next target for the next...
No, the target is people, and their cause and their upliftment and their work. That's what we are dedicated to, and that's what our focus is.
Thank you so much, and all the best for the next government. So he is Jitin Prasad. He is clearly confident that BJP is all set to make another benchmark in the coming government, and yes, he is happy. Back to you.
Samar, thanks very much for that interesting interview. The difference between the Congress style and the BJP style. Jitin Prasad saying Congress disconnected with the people. Who would disagree on a day like this? Ashwini Kumar, former Congress leader, he too has left the party. Mr. Kumar, you're from Punjab. AAP, historic victory. There's much talk that you may be joining the AAP soon. But either way, will you tell us today, I told you so?
Well, of course, I'm going to tell you I told you so. I've said it on every single channel that AAP was a tsunami waiting to hit Punjab. But there were people who are blind and there were people who are deaf, who would just not look or hear And I said so
Who are
on
these
the
people?
basis of a very intensive engagement in Punjab. Well, there were people in all political formations who just didn't believe what was going to come. And I think what has happened now, the larger political message of the victory of AAP in Punjab is that a new national political narrative is in the offing, in which parties like AAP and TMC will have a predominant role, and the Congress party, and I hate to say so, and I say so with some sadness, would be relegated to the margins, even as one of the actors in the national alternative narrative, which is being scripted right now.
No,
And
you're
also there's
making a
another
huge
clear
point.
message.
You're
The
saying
return
that
of
TMC
BJP
and
in-
Congress,
just one
TMC
minute.
and AAP
One
will take
minute.
over the Congress's space?
Well, of course they will, and they have taken over. And I'm now trying to tell you another thing. The return of BJP in UP also demonstrates that BJP is and will for some years remain the dominant pole in India's politics. So therefore, there will be two poles, one led by BJP and the other led by a national alternative, a new alternative, in which AAP and TMC and regional parties will have a very predominant role. And that is being scripted right now.
No, but
That is why I
Ashwini
say
ji,
these
when you come
spectacular
to,
victories.
you know, it's the day that you decided to leave the Congress that we invited you to join us at the Panchayat that we were doing at that time on the Punjab elections. And you said that because the Congress has its strategy wrong, that you're leaving, and you predicted that AAP would win, which is what's happened. But many in the Congress, very senior leaders, called me after that and said Ashwini is doing this for selfish reasons. He's doing it because he wanted a ticket for his son. He doesn't have the larger interest of the Congress because we didn't give him a ticket for his son.
Could you, hello,
Yeah, I hear you well, sir.
hello,
I hear you.
hello, voice.
We hear you fine. Okay, we'll get Ashwini Kumar back. But this is the challenge, that you've got the old guard upset very clearly, but the people close to Rahul Gandhi say they're upset for personal reasons, not because they have an ideological problem with what's happening, but because of their personal self-interest.
That's not entirely wrong. Let's be honest. There are many leaders who got a lot of benefits, went to Rajya Sabha and got other benefits from the Congress. They're not mass leaders. They would struggle to win an election on their own. So there is a point in that. However, if you want to combat such leaders, you have to prove that you can win elections for the party. If you can't win, how do you earn respect? You see, you can gain a position, but you can't earn respect. In a party like the Congress, which is a vote-catching machine, you will only earn respect when you can show that you can win elections. The problem the Gandhis are facing at the moment is a lack of legitimacy at one level because they don't win enough elections for the Congress party. Yes.
Can I make a point on this? We have been seeing this since 2014, that the Congress leadership at the national level is unable to win the party key elections. Have they groomed state level credible leaders to be able to make up for that? No. So in such a situation, how would you expect the Congress to be able to recover from the losses that they are
No,
facing?
but are they even fighting? You win an election in stage 2. Are you even fighting like your life depends on it? The Congress had an opportunity in Uttarakhand, they had an opportunity in Goa. They were the incumbent in Punjab. How seriously did the Congress fight that battle in comparison to the state like UP, where they have long-term hopes, but in the short term they had very little opportunity? Therefore, and Ashwini Kumar, I was just asking you about that interview that we did with you earlier. It went viral, was buzzing on people's phones, and people called me to say, you know, you should have asked him that he's being selfish. He wanted a son ticket for his son. We didn't give him that, which is why he's left. He's not got an ideological problem with him. The whole lot, just not just you, but everyone else who's leaving is doing so for selfish reasons. That's what the Rahul Gandhi camp thinks.
Well, could you have expected anything better from some of these people? And I know who you are referring to, and I will not name the gentleman. But when I was not given the Rajya Sabha seat in 2016, did I then leave the party? When I was asked to resign from the cabinet in 2014, did I then resign from the party? I have stood with the party through thick and thin, and denial of seat here and there can hardly be a reason for my leaving after 46 years of loyal and dedicated commitment to the party. But today I saw that the party was downhill, not only in terms of its moorings, but in terms of its willingness to learn. That is why I said they were deaf and dumb to the realities in Punjab. And at the end of the day, every political person, every public man has to be true to one's own sense of dignity and conscience, and also to the welfare of the people he represents. Punjab and Congress were were poles apart. People were fed up of this circus that was shown over the last three months on every TV channel, including yours. At that point of time, it was a question of one's own credibility, and I could see it coming, and it is not that I didn't want the leadership. I kept telling them that things are not looking good. So therefore, everybody does politics for some kind of an opportunity. So what is wrong with that? And
so you're saying that AAP and Trinamool will take the space of the Congress? What do you see as being a possible solution? Do you think that if the Gandhi family were to make way, a new Congress could emerge? Or do you think that's almost impossible because many congressmen don't see it like that?
Well, I have never made personal comments, and I don't want to. I have great regard for Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, but quite clearly the writing is on the wall. The Gandhis are not delivering election results for the Congress, and Congress is known never to follow somebody who cannot deliver victories for them. You cannot claim leadership by will or by acclamation. You have to claim leadership by performance. And we have seen over the last several years, Congress is downhill. When we came to 52 from 44 in Lok Sabha, we applauded it as an achievement. What a shame for a party of 136 years. And now I only sincerely hope, in the best interest of the image of the Gandhi family, that they accept in humility the verdict and say, we've got it wrong. I hope they do that. They might redeem themselves a bit.
But do they ever do that? Do they ever take responsibility? It's almost by entitlement.
Well, they don't. They don't.
The tragedy of the party.
They don't. That is why.
It's not just the Congress. As I said, there are these defeat-proof netas. Imagine Akhilesh Yadav will have lost 4 consecutive elections. Mayawati will have lost 5 consecutive elections.
You can't compare. No,
Rahul Gandhi, just a minute. Rahul Gandhi has lost.
Battle. He's turned it into a bipolar election.
Whatever it is.
In the next election, he may still have a chance if Yogi doesn't do
Rahul Gandhi.
You can't compare Akhilesh with Rahul Gandhi.
No, I put all of them at one level as leaders who have failed to take forward the legacy that was bequeathed to them. Let's be honest. Mulayam Singh Yadav led a very strong party. Akhilesh Yadav has tried, but not good enough. At the end of the day, in the Western democracy, once you're not good enough after 2-3 elections, you give way to someone else. You're right that the Congress was never meant to be, unlike the regional family-based parties, it was meant to be a party of, where the party was not supposed to be the parivar. Like it or not, that's what's happened in the last decade. And if the Congress doesn't realize the writing on the wall, it's the biggest loser. But Sonia Gandhi should have recognized, particularly when Rahul Gandhi decided to step down in 2019 after the defeat, it was a huge opportunity to attempt a change in guard. What was wrong? Let's say whether it was a Tharoor, whether it was a pilot, choose anyone.
Because
have an open election.
The mother wants his son.
Absolutely. And therefore, that's not the way a political party can run. That message goes right down to the people.
Okay, Ravi Kishan from Gorakhpur. BJP now, 274, coming close to the prediction made by the exact poll. Winning and winning in style. This is Gorakhpur. BJP supporters there.
Keshav Prasad Maurya is trailing.
Keshav Prasad Maurya is trailing. So this
CM is trailing. Very narrow margin, but trailing.
उत्तर प्रदेश की देवतुल जनता का ये जीत है। सबका साथ, सबका विश्वास, सबका विकास।
भव्य मंदिर बनवाने वाले को सत्ता दिलाए हैं। जय जय श्री राम। That's the mood here in Gorakhpur. Yogi's bastion, Sansad Ravi Kishan, who spent the entire the campaign time not only in Purvanchal but also he campaigned in Gorakhpur, stayed in Gorakhpur, and that was the free time and this day when the hard work of the BJP, their entire campaign, and that is reflecting in the early trends. That's now mood of Holi celebration. Let's hear. Holi, Hare Rangava, Ude Asma, Khele mein khele Holi, Hare Rangava, Ude Asman, Rangava, Ude Rangava, Ude Asman, Rangava.
Go across live as BJP supporters in Gorakhpur are playing Holi to the Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office. The Minister of State for Science, Technology, Jitendra Singh joins us. Dr. Singh, welcome. It's Holi come early in Gorakhpur. You've got your Gulal out as well. A big victory. The BJP now leading on 277 out of the 400 leads that we have available at the moment. Mubarak ho.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul.
So tell us, you're in the Prime Minister's office. Who do you attribute this victory to? Questions are being asked about whether this is the Prime Minister's victory, Yogi Ji's victory, or a combination. Yes.
I've been listening. Yeah, I've been listening to you since morning, and it's beautifully done analysis. I think this election result has broken many jigs. A, it was always said that UP hardly repeats a government. B, that there has to be inevitably some amount of anti-incumbency factor to a lesser or greater extent. So I think both the myths have been exploded. In fact, the other day only we had said that in Lucknow, that this time it's going to be pro-incumbency vote. And Prime Minister Modi has, I think, sought to introduce a new political culture, not only in Uttar Pradesh, but the entire country, because rising above caste, creed, religion politics is the politics of development, politics of vikas, politics of benefit with empowerment. So those sections of society which had somehow not received the kind of attention all these decades which they deserved have been reached out, whether it is the Ujjwala, whether it is the Swachhata, and you must have seen even in Uttar Pradesh, almost 11 crore toilets were built, and across the households, regardless of whichever religion, whichever caste they belong to, and they were given the nomenclature of Izzat Ghar. So I said the other day, 3S, Suraksha, Swachhata and Samman. And if you ask young girls across the state, they would confess that whatever else it might be, notwithstanding that, they feel much safer now compared to what it was earlier. It was very amusing listening to these young girls saying that pehle ghar se bahar nikalte the to maa scooty par akele nahi jaane deti thi. Now we feel confident. So I think it's a beginning of a new political culture, and thanks to Prime Minister Modi, who has got India rid of the culture which was deeply embedded in the feudalist thoughts of being tagged down or trapped down in caste,
Mr. Minister, you mentioned the Prime Minister and his role, and there's no doubt that the woman voter is something that needs to be looked at. You've got a huge lead, Mr. Singh, among women voters. We saw that in our exit poll as well. What about Yogi Adityanath, Chief Minister?
Yes.
Does this victory, Mr. Minister, catapult him on the national stage as a potential future successor to Mr. Modi? Is that how you see him now? How much credit do you give him?
See, as far as this issue is concerned, I think this is a foregone conclusion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the leader of Bharatiya Janata Party, and if you are referring to the kind of you are tactically trying to mention the succession pattern, I think from the series 1 to 10 it is Modi, 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 Modi. So the election in 2014 was fought under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. 2019 again Modi. Uttar Pradesh, it was fought under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi in 2022, and again in 2024 it's going to be fought under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi.
So very interesting. You're almost saying Mr. Modi is like what Amitabh Bachchan was in Bollywood in the late 70s, number 1 to 10, and then everyone else. But somewhere surely there's space for Yogi Adityanath.
You could put it that way.
There is space,
no, as Chief Minister,
Mr. Minister, for Yogi Adityanath or not?
No, certainly as Chief Minister he was entrusted with the responsibility of translating all the Modi schemes on the ground, which he has done diligently. So the credit which is due to him goes to him. But you cannot draw a match. I think that's beyond discussion. It's Modi all over.
Can I just ask you, given these victories, there's much talk, because you're from that part, of Jammu and Kashmir also going to the polls now in July, August. Is that the next agenda? Am I going to see you out there in a few months?
Yeah, actually, what are the exact dates going to be for an election in J&K is to be decided by the Election Commission of India. But as far as BJP is concerned, I've been saying this all along, we are a 24/7 party. We are not the ones who start visiting temples on the eve of an election. We are always geared up for any election, whether it's a panchayat election, the district council or the corporation or the assembly. And the culture is such that each one of us, regardless of whatever the position, is primarily a karyakarta. So all of us, join the election campaign in whichever state it happens. So we are fully prepared. And as far as Jammu and Kashmir specifically is concerned, you would appreciate that the opposition parties have already, gone missing, because there's hardly any opposition left now. Because the reach of Prime Minister Modi's schemes has touched across the sections of society, not only in the Jammu region, but also in the Kashmir Valley. The beneficiaries of Izzat Ghar, the beneficiaries of Shauchalayas, the beneficiaries of the gas cylinders are not only women or men from a particular community, but across the community lines. And as I said that day in Lucknow, they may not say so openly for whatever reasons, but when it comes to casting a secret ballot, they always vote for Modi. And that has been proven by the kind of percentage we received of the women voters, even in Uttar Pradesh.